So you mentioned, Tina, Africa Infodemic Response Alliance, and it's just something that was created even less than 1 year ago in December 2020, when the WHO African office, together with a series of partners, had the innovative idea that infodemic management response could have not been achieved and been effective if was just a deployment of individual agencies' response. So this initiative was an experiment that was launched less than 1 year ago. And if we start from, I like to start from a quote from an ancient Greek tragedian, Aeschylus, which was saying centuries and centuries ago that in war, truth is the first casualty. And when we talk about infodemic, about the impact of misleading information, mis and disinformation on public health responses, yes, we can say that fact-based information can be the first casualty and can really hamper the deployment of public health responses. So 1 year ago, WHO African office decided to put together a series of agencies, partners, civil society organization, based on the belief that, as I said, that there was no one-size-fits-all approach to countering infodemic, the spread of misinformation, and that the only way to move forward was to bridge together experiences, expertise coming from very relevant actors. So that's why WHO, UNICEF, UNESCO, Africa CDC, US CDC, and also African-based fact-checking organizations like the BAWA, Africa Check, and PESA Check were invited to join this new entity. And so far, it's a piloting project that aims at really make sure that the expertise, the synergies, the resources as well, can be a higher impact and effect if they're shared, and also if the learning are shared. So what we do today, we try to coordinate all the learning, but also all the different efforts to counter misinformation by these different organizations that you see on the right side of the screen, and try to build up from this expertise and to join effort to counter misinformation in the spread of misinformation in the African region. And one key component of our activities is to help countries to create their own infodemic management system, to help them to deploy social media listening, to help them to coordinate and steer with other partners, and to help them to really interact and engage in social media to inject fact-based information. The important experience that we I think that we are building is that we try to implement what is the backbone of the infodemic management strategy based on the 4 pillars of identify, simplify, amplify, and quantify, and try to make them becoming real operations on the field, and also see what we learn by not only implementing this at continental level, but also adapting this at country level. And it's important for me to remind the sequence of these pillars, because this really guide us as African Infodemic Response Alliance from the importance of identifying resources and building up social media listening and monitoring system to identify rumors, information void, topic of concerns that can that will require a response from our side. Then, by connecting with the different agencies, the fact-checking organization, US CDC, the WHO, we aim at simplifying the technical and scientific-based information and to translate into contents that can be effective on social media, to really intercept the ongoing conversation, to engage with the public, and to be as successful as possible to mitigate or reduce the impact of ongoing misinformation. To do that, we need to simplify the information, and we need to build networks and partnership with journalists, with media, with fact-checking organization, but also with other organizations that by simply sharing on their social media channels the same kind of content can really build up a wall of defense towards the spread of misinformation. And the fourth and most challenging component from our perspective is to be able to quantify, to measure the impact of the activities and the campaign that we launched, to understand what was effective, what was a failures, and possibly from failures to learn and build more successful action for the second phase. As I mentioned before, social media listening is the starting point of what we do. And I want to highlight this point because it's from these activities that is quite sophisticated, that we try to build a response in the African region. And we implemented social media listening close to the launch of IRA by starting using different kind of platforms. You have heard many names during the previous cohort, like CrowdTangle, WHO Ears, TweetDeck, and many others. And on a daily basis, we monitor the ongoing conversation occurring there. We detect those trending conversation, we identify rumors, and we try to identify those that are considered information void. So those topics that are generating fears and anxiety in the population, but that are still not been filled by disinformation, and try to intervene on them. And the result of this is what you see on the right side of the screen, is a weekly infodemic trend report. We want to create a tool, a product that we can share widely every week with the main rumors, the main concerning topics that we identified, but also proposing some easy to implement kind of action. We want to keep the format of the trend report simple so that it can be accessible, readable by anybody within the region. And we want also to keep the recommendation, the information concrete, realistic, and easy to implement. So we want to have this tool, a useful tool that can be used in different ways according to the context, based on the people who receive the report and based on the specific need identified in a specific context. Here are 4 examples on how 4 IRA members use differently our trend report. So you can see Africa CDC uses it to review their messaging, while UNESCO distributes to implementing partners, so even expanding the reach of this report, while UNICEF uses it to generate and keep a dialogue with their health practitioners on the field. And we have discussed a lot about the importance of healthcare workers and making sure that at any level, we sensitize people about the importance to counter misleading information and the importance of infodemic management. And the 4th example is how Africa Science Media Center, so civil society organization, use it to inform their network of journalists about ongoing rumors. So this, for me, is very important about the importance of not only focusing on which tool we use, which tool produce, but also about which different uses can be done about a different tool, and how we can expand the efficacy of a tool by just thinking how the different actors could use the same body of evidence. When we do, and we talk about infodemic management, we, as said many times, we manage a lot of information, the one that we gather from social media listening, the information that we get from our technical expert, the information that we exchange with fact-checking organization, but then what can we do with all this information? So that's why in March, WHO, AFRO, and the Africa Infodemic Response Alliance decided to launch Viral Facts Africa, which is a complete new brand. It's a content production platform, and it's important for me to stress that it's an autonomous brand to really brand fact-based materials and production that we produce and inject on social media. So Viral Facts, it's we could call it, it's a content production lab, that it's open access to all the IRA members and partners, but also to networks of journalists, to other civil society organizations, to share and make it accessible all the country misinformation production that we have produced so far, so that IRA members and other organizations can adapt them, can add their logos, and can use in their different countries and on their different platforms. As you can see on the right side, you see an example, and we use the language, the style, the layout that are most adapted to social media. And the effort is to translate a very complex information into something that can be easily shared on different social channels, and that can be easily understood by different audiences with different level of background and instruction. Here you can see the open portal where you can access to, and I will show you later, more than 240 pieces and production on many different topics, from debunking misleading information about vaccine and pregnancies, to debunk the false claim about Luc Montagnier, to sharing testimonies from healthcare workers, COVID survivors, to build up confidence in a COVID-19 vaccine, or to create a media literacy campaign. All this content, as said, are open and shareable by anybody, but the full, the original version of them are accessible by partners and other organizations that can adapt and can add their logo. So multiplying the dissemination of viral facts content. Here is a snapshot about the production and one of the weaknesses that we face today, which is the balance in terms of language production. As you can see, unfortunately, the vast majority of our production is in English and in French, and we have to improve in local languages. But we can see that the content is spread around 34 countries. And in terms of hard figures of engagement, the videos has been seen so far by more than 170 million people. These videos, I said, these are products. So the success of a product is how it is used. Here's an example on how one of our partners, it's Ghana Fact, a very active and dynamic fact-checking organization, engage with us, and we engage with them to counter the spread of a conspiracy theory that was generated by a local pastor that started to promote one of those conspiracy theories that we saw many times on social media. Thanks to the Ghana Fact that spotted this rumor going online, together with them, we produced some piece of materials that they have been able to quickly inject on social media. And according to what they told us, this helped them to reduce the virality of this conspiracy theory, and also reduce the timing for which this was circulating. So this is an example on how partnership, it's a bilateral process that bring advantages to both parties of the partnership, to Ghana Fact, the fact-checking organization, and to us as well, because we have learned how now to better work with them. Another important element of what we can do is that we can try formats, we can try languages, and we based on the priority that we have. And in June, one of the tasks that we had was to help countering online disinformation that could have had an impact on vaccine confidence. So that's why you see here, we decided to work on experimenting different formats and different layout, and to launch a targeted campaign in a series of countries to really target vaccine confidence. So how we build this campaign? Based on the information that we were receiving from the WHO and other organizations, and also based on what you see on the right side of the screen, which is the Facebook Data for Good platform. It's an open access platform. We identify vaccine hesitancy rate amongst different countries, and also the main driver of these reduced confidence. And the two main drivers were the first one related to fear about possible side effect, and the second one about an attitude of more wait and see the others getting vaccinated before getting the jab. So we decided to tackle vaccine confidence in those countries that we identify with the highest rate of vaccine hesitancy, and we decided to build two different campaigns. One with the purely produced viral fax materials, and another one together with the Saatchi advertisement agency. And for both this campaign, we conducted two brand lift studies, which is a Facebook survey system to measure if your campaign generated a lift, so an increase in terms of perception, in terms of confidence, in terms of appreciation about a series of questions. In this case, the question that we posed to the audiences were about confidence in the vaccine, importance about the vaccine, and safety about the vaccine. The countries that we choose were four French-speaking countries, because we wanted to test more in countries where we were seeing that our activities were less effective. And then South Africa, Kenya, and Lagos in Nigeria, we want to also to focus on one urban area. The main takeaways that we had from these two campaigns, the one with the Saatchi agency that was using, how we can define them, celebrities VIP, like sport champions, famous singers, comedians, to support vaccine confidence. And the other one using either WHO expert or more graphic materials. We conducted the brand lift studies, and we saw that the lift generated by the campaign using these famous people was less higher than the lift generated by the more simple content. We share this outcome and this assumption about whether VIP kind of influencer could have been more or less effective than community kind of more micro influencer, community influencer. We share with other agencies and with other organizations that conducted similar campaigns. And we saw that also other entities experience something similar, a reduced drive generated by famous VIP influencers. And the reason behind this could have been a multiple reason, but mainly less trust on famous people that could have been perceived to have joined this campaign for commercial purpose, for individual visibility, for political agendas, while micro-influencers were perceived more closer to the communities, more trusted source of information. In all our experience, the main takeaways that we identify, and we are still a bit we can consider in our first year of live activity, is the first one that it's our mantra is to think as an organization, but act as an army of communities. So alone by ourselves, we will reach limited objective, but steering and engaging with our partners, with allies, and building more allies, it's crucial for all our activities. Social media listening has to be conducted with the knowledge and with the tools that we have. It's the first important point. We have to kick off this as quickly as possible. And even if we are not expert in data analysis, even if we are not expert in using social media platform, let's start to do it. Let's start to get something out. Let's start to produce the first infodemic trend report, because it's only by doing that we can improve and that we can refine this crucial component of our activities. The second point is to establish and maintain network with tech experts and fact checkers. Tech experts that can allow us to identify new and innovative platforms or tools or way to understand, read, or use data, and fact checkers who are kind of sentinels in front lines in different areas and countries that can help us not only to detect rumors, but to reach specific communities, and create WhatsApp groups to speed up the information sharing amongst all the different allies. So to make sure that we can immediately engage with everybody. The other point is to map allies, but also enemies. Know your enemies. Know who are the super spreader of misinformation. Know who are the social media accounts that are disseminating information, and monitor them. On the other side, build alliance with more partners to share resources, effort, even financial resources to perhaps put together budgets and get a social media listening platform, or to produce campaign or content. The other important driver that has already been mentioned in other cohort is do not be scared about testing, failing, learning, retesting, because this is crucial. Nobody has the magic sticks to know which content will function, which language and layout will function. It's only by testing that we will learn, and engage with community influencer. Do not hesitate to readapt content. People may be stressed about producing something always new. We saw that many of the rumors that we deal with are not new rumors. Some of them are recurrent rumors that spike times to times, and we may tackle them by reusing some of the materials and focus our energies for new production on something really relevant and really new. And the important thing is to be fast. So that's why it's important to reuse content if you have it. In terms of language, we said that either you talk with expert profile, or you have to use colloquial, plain spoken language and draw relatability. And this was more effective for younger audiences, while in terms of using testimonial, a mixture of influencer is for sure the best approach, rather than falling to the mistake that only notoriety, only visibility can be a winning factor when considering the importance of an influencer. I want to conclude my presentation with a statement done by Umberto Eco, which was a famous Italian semiotician and novelist, about a very important component, psychological component of what we deal with. And he was saying that, arguing about why conspiracy theories are so popular, he was saying that the psychology of conspiracy arises from the fact that the most evident explanation of many worrying facts do not satisfy us, and often do not satisfy us because it hurts to accept them. So this is, for me, it's a kind of lesson that I bring with me every day. I deal with misinformation, because the important thing is not only to do social media listening as we do, but to listen about the fears of people, to understand that there is a psychological dimension that is something that has to remain at the heart of what we do. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Liz, for the opportunity that you gave to me. And back to you.